it's Lawrence again. So today I'm decked out in my ACG gear. I have my ACG hat, and I also have my ACG t-shirt that you can see over here. So if this is the first time that you're at this channel, if you like the content after you watch it, definitely hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. So today we're going to be reviewing one of the ACG sneakers. For people who don't know what ACG is, I launched about 30 years ago. So ACG stands for All Conditions Gear. This year they decided to go with a completely different route and went with a 90s type vibe. So a lot of the things that you see from the ACG release this time is very bright colors, has a retro look to it. And this is the ACG Ruckel Ridge. This is done in a galaxy gray, an anthracite color. So let's start with the upper. So there's a lot of things to talk about, but let's start with the upper. So the top of it over here is a stretchable mesh material. It's most likely a sock that's also kind of stitched onto the suede. That goes into the tongue and everything else, but this is the main piece of it, and this is what holds your foot in together and holds it really, really well. The rest of the shoe is mainly made out of this gray suede with perforations all throughout. There are a couple differences from the medial side and the lateral side. On the lateral side, you have this cool ACG logo that's right here, and then on the flip side of that, you have this Nike logo. If you look up really, really closely, you're going to actually be able to see a lat long on there, and that lat long, I believe, is actually for Ruckel Ridge, which is a trail that's based outside of Oregon. So looking at the colors, the stretchable mesh is a gray, and then inside of it is a bright, bright, bright pink that you see all throughout. Going onto the top of the shoe, you're going to see another suede panel with perforations, and then moving up top, you're going to see a lacing system that's very similar to the Solomon lacing system, and so this is supposed to be a speed way of doing it. And you basically pull on this to tighten up, and you can use this latch over here to basically make sure your laces don't flop up and down as you're walking. This is exactly the same lacing system that you'll see on the Vapor Max utility. The black piece over here for the tongue is also made out of the same stretchy booty material of the mesh, so it's exactly the same. And finally over here, you're going to see an ACG logo with a pull tab over here. So this is actually going to be really important because this shoe is really hard to put on, and as you think about it, you really need this to be able to open up the sock. On the back side, you're going to see another heel tab over here, and this heel tab looks exactly the same as that ACG one that's on the tongue. That's also used for stretching. These two things are completely fundamental for you to be able to get this on. Looking at the midsole, this is actually a mesh material that's sewn on, so it's actually a softer material over here. I believe it's ballistic nylon. And then the front is a black rubber. There's also contrasting pink that's throughout. Moving to the medial side, there is a little difference over here. It says Ruckel Ridge where that pink is. And finally on the back, on the very bottom of it, you're going to see All Conditions Gear written in the rubber, and then also a 3M hit on the back. On the bottom here, you're going to have something called Poron Foam, which is supposed to absorb pressure. I haven't had a chance to do any of this in the actual wild, and so I have no idea how well this absorbs pressure, but it feels pretty good. And when I had it on foot, it had a really, really good stiff feel to it, which is really important when you're hiking. On the outside, they call this the GravelRockMoss System, and that's a hopefully improved traction. But as you kind of look at the bottom of the shoe, there's no doubt that there's a lot of traction here. You can feel lots and lots of ridges all throughout. So what are my thoughts on the shoe? I think that these are a great pair of shoes in general. There's a lot of hiking boots made out of materials that are very unbreathable. I'd say that the sock-like liner over here helps out that with a little bit. The perforation on the suede, still not yet seen to see how hot it is, but I would say overall my foot wasn't heated up. I walked around these for about an hour or two yesterday. This is going to be much more of a casual review, so I have no idea how this is going to perform on the rocks. So if anybody actually has bought a pair and gone trail hiking, definitely leave a comment below so you can tell me how these actually work in the trail. My only main complaint about the fit is really up here. Hopefully it stretches out over time, but for overall, it's kind of tight in the midfoot area. Sizing wise, if you go true to size, these are going to be a little bit long. So if you have a wide foot, I would actually go true to size. But if you have a narrow foot, I would definitely go a half size down, because these do run a little long in the front. But because the system that holds your foot in place is actually really, really snug, you can probably go true to size as well as half size down pretty easily. But if you have any questions, definitely leave in the comments below. And that's it. This is the ACG Ruckel Ridge. Until next time,